Welcome back. You're watching News Center. The Indian government is bracing for 50% US tariffs starting the 27th of August. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that trade talks with the US scheduled for the 25th of August have been postponed. The US has not changed its stance on 25% secondary duties imposed on India. Negotiations are underway between US and India about setting aside these tariffs. Indian exporters are also rushing to beat the tariff deadline. Sources have indicated that the front-loading has led to a shortage of space on mother vessels, with exporters having to pay more to secure space. The customs clearance period has also increased. Exporters will now have to shell out 20% more on space on vessels, depending on how voluminous their products are. To take this discussion forward, we're now joined by Sumit Ritolia, lead analyst at Kpler, and Sudhir Sekri, chairman and managing director of Apparel Export Promotion Council. Sudhir Sekri, if I can begin with you, could you give us a sense of how you're gearing up for 27th of August? Because currently, the sense that one gets is that the trade talks, which are supposed to take place on the 25th of August, the team is not coming in to India. Those talks are not taking place. There is no deal on the Russia-Ukraine war. There is no understanding that has been reached between India and the US just as yet. How are you getting ready for the 27th of August?
Okay, let me begin by saying that our industry supports the stance taken by the government when it comes to our national interest, the interest of our farmers, dairy, fisheries. And having said that, we would also like the government, because as we support the government on their stance, we expect the government to support the industry also, because the industry has a lot at stake. We have a potential loss of about $11.5 billion, and we are looking at layoffs. We are trying our best to sustain this huge loss this huge tariff that we have been faced with. However, it's not easy unless the government supports us. Now, coming to your question, how are we preparing for the 27th? Well, first of all, 27th is just, I would say, another 2 weeks away. And like every other exporter, we are also uploading, the apparel industry is also, bringing forward their deliveries so that they can meet the deadline of the 27th of August. However, that also, because there's an anomaly here, because when the deadline of 7th of August was given to us, 7th of August on board, then the custom clearance in the US was given as 4th of October. But now with the 27th August onboarding, we have 17th of September as the custom clearance date, which gives us just 20 days. And 20 days is not enough for a vessel to, the sailing time is much more than that. The minimum sailing time is to the US is about 28 days. So even if we ship it on the 27th, we might still end up by being hit by that 50% tariff. What exporters are doing today they are trying to either airlift the goods, or they are trying to prepone. Instead of keeping it 27th, they take it 20th as the deadline. So all these things are in the works. And obviously, it is putting a lot of pressure on vessels and logistics.
Additional question to you before I go across to Sudhir. What would be, Mr. Sekri, the quantum of exports that the textile or the apparel industry has done in this month of August itself compared to the month of July?
But I can't give you the figure for August because we haven't finished August yet. So, but what we did in July, we were at about 3% higher than July of 24.
3% higher. And any estimates on what could August be like, considering that there is an effort to airlift and send as much of consignment as possible?
Yeah, again, we have our other constraints also. Like you said, logistics is one of the constraints. But I believe by the 27th, we should be about 3 to 5% higher than last year.
Okay. And let me go across to Sumit now. Sumit from Kpler, who's joining us. Remember, there have been stories about India's imports from Russia have actually surged, especially of crude oil. Sumit Ritolia, you've been tracking this space very closely. Could you give us a sense of what has been the extent of India's import from Russia of crude oil? Has it gone down in the month of August compared to July, or is it going up?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Like before I start, like we have entered into a phase where it's more about barrels. It's more about balance rather than barrels. So, and coming to your point that yeah, August import has been quite resilient till now. Like as I speak, like till 18th of August, we have seen around 1.7, 1.8 million barrels a day of crude getting unloaded at Indian refiners. But again, there is a catch here. Like with the tariff announcement coming by late of July, but for August parcels or like I would say cargoes were already logged in June and July. So it's not that since when the tariff has started, the supply of the crude imports will go down. The real impact we will be seeing in September and October, not in August. So August has been quite resilient as of now. And what we see as a prediction modeling, overall August, we see around 1.8, 1.9 million barrels per day of crude, higher than July for 200 KBD.
Right. So you're seeing higher imports in the month of August, but the real impact, as you're seeing, will be seen in September or October. How does this compare to India's purchase of crude oil and gas from the United States? Because we've been reading various reports which say that India's energy imports from the US have gone up almost 70% between January to June this year, year on year.
Okay, so I don't have any hard numbers for gas, but yeah, I can speak on crude. Like 70% looks good, quite inflated, but you need to know that the base is very small here. So India, as of now, pre-COVID was importing around 10% of its crude requirement from US. But since then, economics and different geopolitics, as of now, we speak, India is importing around just 2 to 3%. But yeah, since Mr. President has joined, President Trump has joined, we have seen an uptick. It is also to do with the crude economics for the US, particularly with lesser cargoes going to China, so that India has more availability, and arbitrage also helps that. But as of now, we have seen around 200, 300 KBD as of now, but we don't see any major upside there.
Okay, how much of India's crude imports in the month of July and August so far have come from the US, Sumit?
Yeah, for July it was around 370 KBD, and for US for August it has been around 270 to 280 KBD as of now.
Okay, and how much would that be in percentage terms of our total crude basket?
It will be around 3 to 5%, because we import around 4,800 to 5,000 KBD, so it's around 3 to 5% roughly.
Okay, and by September, October, you expect this number to increase and amount of Russian crude coming in to decrease? Would it be primarily because of the cost differential going down, discounts going down?
That's a good question. See, again, I will break it into two. US crude, we don't see primarily increasing exponentially. We see only 100 to 200 KBD of upsurge, like if there is given by domestic refiners or like state refiners pushing towards US barrels. So I don't see any significant increase in US barrels. Coming to Russian barrels, the situation is quite fluid. Like as we speak, the Russian loadings as of now in August has decreased compared to what it was in June, July. So we have seen only around 1,000 to 1,100 KBD as of now till 18th August. But again, there is a catch. There are a lot of vessels that doesn't have any specific destination as of now. So yeah, we see refineries going for the diversification, not just for the margin purpose, but again to hedge their supplies, because again, for most of the refining capacity here in India lies with the state refiners, and for them energy security is the priority.
All right. Thank you very much, Sumit Ritolia and Sudhir Sekri, for joining us on the program. It definitely is a challenging time for exporters, energy companies. Let's see what happens in the days to come. And hopefully there will be some sort of understanding between India and the US, which could lead to some reprieve. That's all we have time for on News Center. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.